What's up, everybody? Welcome back to It's in the Blood. Every single time that intro rolls, it takes me off guard, and so we're definitely gonna have to work on that. Just for the pure fact that I don't like how it ends.
It's like you hit a brick wall and bam, you're there. It just stops.
But yeah, I welcome to NFL Week 13. Welcome to December. I know I did the Cowboys and Saints game, but we don't usually do the Thursday game on our weekly picks. Everybody that comes in here, be sure to vote in that poll because we're trying to decide which days are best to do which things for your guys' sake, and so we can be more organized on our end. This week was like a last minute decision to get on here today and do our weekly picks, but we wanted to make sure they got out there and we wanted to make sure we had time for everything else. But with that being said, we're happy to see everybody. I see Puppet Master and Amethyst. Thanks for being here. You guys are seriously awesome. How are you today, Dad?
It's not been a great day. I've had some struggles today, so I had to stay away from the house most of the day, and now I just don't feel quite good. So I'm ready for a nice good nap tonight.
I feel you 100%. I'm right there with you with not so good of a day, and definitely for complete different reasons. I did work today, 9 to 5:30. I put a staple through my finger. I bled a lot. It was rough. I don't do blood, and I didn't look at it, but I felt it running down my hand, and it's been a weird day, and I haven't felt great. I don't know what I'm coming down with, but I'm getting sick, and I hate that. So that's why I'm excited for today. I'm excited for tomorrow's stream with you. I'll be at work, so I'll only be in and out, unfortunately. But the good thing about me being at work, I'll get to watch it live on a TV, even if I can't chat with you as much.
2 days no beanie.
And I'm ready for Thursday's games. Puppet Master, 2 days no beanie. The real Alex froze to death and was taken over by a scent. Hey, I put a hoodie on today, and I did that for you. I just want you to know it was for you because you said that it was weird. I didn't have a jacket or a beanie. I couldn't make the beanie work today just because I don't want my hair to be crazy. There is a lot of hairspray in my hair, so a beanie would make it stick weird ways right now, and I didn't feel like messing with it. But you know, the real Alex is much more healthy than this one, so I think I can excuse the lack of my norm. What's up, Geezer? Thanks for stopping in and hanging out with us tonight. Also, Amethyst, we definitely appreciate you, and it means a lot. So,
Sleep.
but yeah, I can't wait tonight. That's what I'm going to do when we get off here. I'm going to sleep it off hard and try to bounce back tomorrow and start a new day and hopefully don't feel quite as crummy. But with that being said, let's bounce right into, we can recap Thursday really quickly. It was a good game, and I rewatched it today at work because when, they don't have anything to show other than horse racing, sometimes they replay games that have been played on prime time. So I rewatched it again, and it was like I didn't have a lot of time, but I got to focus on the smaller things a little bit. So the Saints were in that game the whole game. Even when they were behind, we were in the third quarter and they were only down by 3. So
Yeah, the long touchdown run by Pollard kind of made it feel out of reach. But I watched it again today too, and my thought was that the defense did their job. There wasn't enough offense there to win the game, and Dallas didn't play that well to win the game. So, kind of what we kind of thought. It was not going to be a high scoring game, and New Orleans was going to have some issues today, but thought they could win. I really felt like Dallas was going to win, and even though I didn't want to pick them, I did. But kind of how it just seemed like it was kind of just scripted that way.
Yeah. I mean, it was written in the stars after getting embarrassed on Thanksgiving. Dallas had to win this game. And so I think my biggest takeaway is talking to Saints fans, you should not be happy about the loss, but you should be happy about this. You know, compared to your last 4 games, this was a good game. And so you should be happy about the progress. We saw life for once in their offense. Update on Taysom Hill. He had the same injury as Russell Wilson, just not structurally as damaged as Russell Wilson. So there's going to be no surgery. So there's another positive. There's a couple takeaways. And the one big thing is Dallas is really not good against good defenses in general. They can't run the ball against good defenses. You know, if Pollard hadn't had that big run, you know, that was the majority of their run game right there.
Well, that was the backbreaker of the game. It made it a 2-score game, and it just felt that right there is single-handedly what did it. And everybody's already today I was listening when I was driving around, and they're already talking about Pollard being number one and Zeke being number two, and they said the way that they're going to probably handle this is they're probably going to say Ezekiel Elliott's the number one running back. I mean, he did get 13 rushes in the game, but Tony Pollard is going to be the one that's in there during the high leverage situations.
What's up, Go KU? We will get to the Chiefs game, but you already know right where I'm at. But saying KU over St. John's, I think we watch IU, but we did watch IU play against St. John this year, and that is definitely a winnable game for Kansas. So, in my opinion, Kansas is a tough team.
Kansas is further along in the development than this IU team. They're up 43-30 at the half right now against St. John's. They will probably run off with it. But tonight at 9 o'clock for the Big Ten fans, which is just probably me, Iowa and Purdue play tonight. 2 7-0 teams start the Big Ten year off. So I'm probably going to lay in bed and watch it as I go to sleep tonight.
So you're going to be an Iowa fan tonight and make your boss happy?
No, I really don't want to say it so much, but I like good teams, and this Purdue team is a very good team. So I'm just anxious to get to watch them.
I understand. I definitely understand. Yeah, I got like 22 subscribers. Pookie, that's progress, man. Because I remember the last time you were in here, you said I think 14. So it takes a bit, but it picks up. And it'll keep going the more that you go. I promise. So definitely don't give up on that. But all in all, it was not a bad game until the fourth quarter. For both teams, I enjoyed watching it. I had fun calling it. I had fun hanging out with everyone. There's a couple more games coming up that I'm going to prefer to watch more. But I'm not mad about it. It was a solid game that I wasn't miserable watching all 4 quarters, just one, and that's okay. I'll take that as a win for a primetime game. And but with that being said, we can get right into our Week 13 picks. And as much as I hate this team, it's number 1 on my list, and then we're going to go in order. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers fly to Atlanta as a 10.5-point favorite. The over-under is 50.5 as it stands. Thoughts and opinions, go.
First thing that pops into my head is I looked at this game extensively, and there's 2 things that I've seen that contradict each other. Tom Brady's never lost to Atlanta, and Tampa Bay is 3-3 on the road this year. So those are 2 things that I can't ignore. So I'm kind of on the fence. I just don't think Atlanta has enough offense right now to win the game. I'm taking Tampa Bay.
I know you're going to take Tampa Bay. And I should take Tampa Bay. And not once this year have I done that. So I'm not going to start today. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't care how many times I take a loss. I don't care about that. I don't care if you get more picks at the end of the year right over me. And if it comes close and if it comes down to all the games that Tampa Bay has won this year, I'm not even going to be mad about it. Look, Tampa Bay on the road, like you said, 3-3. Tampa Bay and Atlanta are 2 teams that I don't think have swept each other either way in a while. So I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like this is the NFL. We talked about it yesterday. Some of the people in here, any given Sunday, anybody can win any game. And this is why I'm going to take Atlanta. And this is what has gotten me incorrect about a couple Tampa Bay games before. But once you hit that 10-point margin in the favored, I don't like it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I want everybody that's watching this and that makes it through all of our picks to remember me saying that, because it's going to come up again, and it's going to be very important towards the end. And because I already looked ahead, but I'm going to take Matt Ryan to bounce back. They've lost like 5 games in a row. I don't think they're going to lose 6 or 5, however many. I don't think this lose streak is going to continue. This is going to be in my opinion, look, Tampa Bay realistically should win this game like 40-0 based on how Atlanta's been playing. Maybe 43-3. I'll give them 3. Or I'll give them 6. I'll give them 2 field goals because they got a great kicker. But I feel like personally that this is one of those games that is not going to make sense. Like, I believe that. And like, I'm just every week I pick against Tampa Bay because I don't like them. But deep down, I know which games they're going to win.
I got a couple games this week that don't make sense either. So
this is one of those ones that really, really doesn't make sense. And it makes as little sense as when I picked the Jets to beat Tennessee. Okay. It made as little sense as some of these upsets I have gotten right this year. But I've gotten a lot wrong, and I'll accept that. But this one, it's sticking with me, and I'm not going to change the way I've gone. I'm going to be able to defend myself until I'm proven wrong every single time. I think Tom Brady loses this game because, one, it's a critical game. Matty Ice is not going to let himself get embarrassed twice this year against a division rival. Like, I just don't see it. It's a division game. Tom Brady's good against Atlanta, whatever. Atlanta's good at choking. That's what they do, okay? They got destroyed by the Patriots. So in Tom Brady's mind, it's like, oh, well, I got to do better than that. So this realistically, like I said, they should win by 40. But I'm going to take the upset. I don't feel incredibly strong about it, but I do feel like I have enough to back myself up on this. Either way, Atlanta, I believe, will cover 10. I don't like 10. If they would have said 9.5, I'd have been like, all right, Tampa Bay is going to win that game. I would not have even fought it. But they gave them 10.5. They put over 10. I don't like it. I'm going Atlanta. You're going to take Tampa Bay because you're probably smarter than I am. But so we got that down in the books for pick number 1. I don't like it. I don't like listening to Rob every week telling me why he won, because look at these games. Some of these games that I have, like when I said Philly was in that game the entire game. They covered the spread. They should have never covered that spread. On the road, they were in Philadelphia. Look, if Tampa Bay wins, in my mind, it's going to be something stupid at the end. Like something really stupid, because that's Atlanta and Detroit Lions luck.
You just ramble and ramble and ramble about this.
I'm passionate about not liking Tom Brady, okay? That is one thing I am very, very passionate about, and I will put my foot down, and I will take the criticism whenever I get burnt, but I don't care. I'll be able to tell you why they should have lost if they do win after the game. But our next game is a really interesting game to me, and there's a couple really interesting games. And so that's why I'm kind of really excited about this week. We had a couple of doozy weeks in a row where there wasn't a lot of games, but this one I feel like most of the games are interesting for different reasons. But Arizona goes to Chicago. Chicago's a 7.5 point underdog, and the over under is 42.5.
Am I starting?
Yeah, go for it. Because you have a lot of thoughts about Chicago in general, and we both really like Arizona.
Yeah, this one here was the one that perplexed me, and I was like, as much as I wanted to pick Chicago in this game, I felt like it was one of those games that I could pick them. to win. The one thing that scares me more than anything is that they haven't produced offensively. And I am pretty positive that Arizona is going to put up 24 points in this game. I don't think Chicago can score 24 points, so therefore I'm going to take Arizona.
I'm gonna take Arizona as well, but I'm gonna take Chicago to cover the 7.5. I think that Arizona can put up 24 points and Chicago can't, but I don't think they're gonna put up more than 24 points.
Yeah, I'm really
There's
anxious.
no guarantee on Kyler Murray or DeAndre Hopkins yet.
And that's true as well.
So with them starting, I don't even know if that's going to affect my decision. Because if they come back, look at Russell Wilson after missing that amount of time. You know, he had surgery on his hand. Look, I get it, but he went through rehab the entire time on his hand. So Russell Wilson is an incredible quarterback. There's just a lot of issues in Seattle right now, I think.
So
I don't think it's his hand that is why they're so bad. I think there's a lot more than that. And so coming back after missing 4 weeks, 5 weeks, however many weeks it's been, is not easy to come back to. You still got to, like we gave the credit to Russell Wilson in his first game back, you got to dust the rust off. And so them coming back isn't going to alter my decision any. I will take Arizona, but I think it's going to be a close matchup. I think it's going to be like 24-21, like something very close. Chicago covers. The Bears start looking good in the second half and try to make a comeback, but fall short.
I'm with you.
Well, I'm glad we agreed on that one. That's the first one today. Let's see. Last week the week before last, because we didn't do last week together, we agreed on some weird ones I didn't expect us to. But for our third game of the day, one of my favorite games, by far my favorite 1:00 game, the Chargers come to the jungle, and Cincinnati is a 3-point favorite. The over-under 49.5.
Lots of interesting affects about this game. Both of the two quarterbacks that went in the first round last year or 2 years ago, finally going to go get to face each other. Both have had interception problems. Cincinnati has the better running game. The Chargers do not run the ball that well. I feel like right now it's go time, it's crunch time. And if you can't run the ball, you're not going to win because games are going to defend the pass. So I'm going to take Cincinnati to cover at home.
I'm gonna take Cincinnati. Look, I love Justin Herbert. Don't get me wrong, I do. But the run game is important. Joe Mixon is on fire right now. Austin Eckler needs help. And so that is obviously a leaning more towards Cincinnati for just that factor. But my thing is this is the reason I'm going to confidently take Cincinnati. You take away the run game and say this is a tie game in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left. If you put a ball in both of their hands, I would trust Joe Burrow to get in the end zone or get the lead in a 2-minute drill more than I would trust Justin Herbert. And it's nothing against him because I think he is a stud and is definitely capable of it. But I've seen that situation, the 2-minute drill for both of these quarterbacks multiple times this year, and I've seen Joe Burrow and the guys he has step up big and make that happen. And, the Chargers, I've seen them fall short, and I've seen them get really lucky at the same time.
And here's the other thing. If you just go back a week before, Pittsburgh goes to LA and puts up 31 points against them
in like the third quarter.
And they come to Cincinnati the following week and they can't score more than they really didn't deserve the touchdown that they got. So, I mean, I know that Pittsburgh's not a great measuring stick right now, but
yeah, but that was a Pittsburgh home game in LA.
It was a Pittsburgh home game in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean that's true too.
They generally
buy the weird thing about Pittsburgh though is that they can be good and they've played good football this year. Randomly, they're inconsistent. They didn't play a good first half, but they played a great second half. They were missing Minkah Fitzpatrick. If they had Minkah Fitzpatrick, the Chargers would have lost that game.
I agree.
Look, I'm not comparing that to the Cincinnati game because that's different. It's divisional, and there's a whole lot of other things you can add to that. But if the Pittsburgh Steelers had Minka Fitzpatrick available and healthy for that game, the Chargers would have lost. That Mike Williams lucky TD would have never happened. And that is definitely a huge reason I will take Cincinnati over the Chargers. Look, the Chargers are not the same team that started the season.
Not right now. They're not. Nope.
So as much as I would like this to be a close, hard-fought battle, I don't even think it might be that close. I think something stupid's going to make it close just for the pure watch factor. What's up, Eddie? But I think Cincinnati runs away with this. They're more than capable of covering. Even if it's not in the end zone, I feel like they could beat them with field goals. I do think this is a high-scoring game, and for betting purposes, I would take Cincinnati to cover, and I would take the over on this game. I believe there's going to be a lot of points scored. I think Cincinnati is getting good at putting up 40 points, and, that was a struggle and a concern in the first 4 weeks of the season. But, they've proven they can do it. I think if it came down to the better defense, I would take Cincinnati's defense right now. If it came down to the better offense, I would take Cincinnati's offense right now. As a whole, I think that Cincinnati could easily win by at least 10.
Yeah, I like the spread at 3 because it could very well be close to that. But
I mean, it very well could be close, but I think the way that both these teams are playing right now, and the Chargers need to get their head out of their butt. They're still winning games, but they're not playing good football. So, this might be one of those games that they're going to try really hard to get back on track. But
I'm going to give you the defense. Since we just talked about Chicago and Arizona, and now we're talking about the Chargers, interesting statistic that affects Justin Herbert is having his head coach removed after his rookie year. The guys on the afternoon drive I was listening to said that most rookies with a head coaching change after 1 year do not fare well. We were talking about Matt Nagy leaving Chicago and how that might affect Justin Fields' progress. And it's already happened here with Mr. Herbert. And, changing things up is not necessarily a good thing for these young quarterbacks. They got to get familiar with the offense that they're running, and they need to have that relationship built for a few years. This might be growing pains between, Justin and the coach.
I agree. I mean, Brandon Staley's doing a good job for a first year, and they're still doing good as a team. They're still relevant. They're in the playoff race, but I think I don't know. Do you think Antonio Brown's punishment was racism or favoritism? Why did Rodgers get away with lying to the public? Because I don't think it's either of those things. I think, one, AB had a bad reputation, and what he did was worse than what Rodgers did because Rodgers never actually lied. Everyone was aware he was unvaccinated. He said he used other methods for his immunization. So he'd never technically lied. He didn't say, I do not have the COVID vaccination, but he didn't lie.
The only thing that was really ugly about that whole thing was the second line in that thing about the vaccination status.
When he started going on about how
he's not going to judge. Yeah, how I'm not going to judge those who aren't. That's where it got. Anyway, he's a piece of crap. Let's go on.
No, I think that Rodgers is an NFL golden boy until he retires. He's a veteran. He's a golden boy. And Antonio Brown has a bad reputation because he's done a lot of stupid things. Yeah, and so he was not the only one that got punished either. 2 other players got caught with the same thing and equally suspended. So it wasn't they made it worse on him. I just feel like it was a dumb situation. I feel like Antonio Brown got a lucky end of the deal with it being 3 games. He could have been removed from the team. A lot of bad things could have happened, but they wanted to give him a chance. He is now vaccinated, and I think if he hadn't went and got vaccinated, things might be different. But he is now vaccinated. So Rodgers still isn't. So therefore, I don't think this is I don't think it's a race thing. I think it might be favoritism because Rodgers is a golden boy and does no wrong, and Antonio Brown has been a troublemaker over the years.
My initial thought on that was to that point that it did seem, and then more I thought about it, and it was totally different act. That's almost like a criminal offense. That's like a forgery type of thing. I mean that's deserving of a suspension. Rodgers is just a politician in the NFL, so
Exactly. I don't know. He served his time on the COVID list, the fair amount of time he had to serve, and so
I am a troublemaker, Tim.
Antonio Brown violated like a federal law. Like he had a fake card. That's more illegal than not having the shot and not wearing a mask in the NFL.
What game are we on?
Also, he did not pay his personal chef, and that is just horrible. Like, pay where your money is due. So I feel like I'm more mad about that than I am the COVID thing.
Well, the chef got his revenge, though, didn't he?
No, I mean, he deserved it because he didn't pay him. Like, that's just wrong. Look, that is where that's my issue I have with Antonio Brown. It doesn't matter about COVID. The vaccination card, yes, that's bad. The suspension, whatever, but not paying your personal chef is kind of screwed up.
All right, well, let's roll.
Let's roll. We are on to a interesting game. Minnesota at Detroit. Detroit's a 7.5 dog. 46.5 is the over under. Look, listen, this is one of those games where I'm talking like Tampa Bay visiting Atlanta. Realistically, Minnesota should wipe the floor clean. But something's telling me that this game's going to come down to a field goal, just like the last matchup. My soul tells me I have to take Minnesota, and I've been burnt by Detroit so many times this year, but I think Detroit might get their first win.
Hands down, I'm picking Detroit.
I don't even want to because I've lost a lot of money because of Detroit this year. And that's my own fault, but I'm going to pick Detroit again. I'm not putting money on it this time, but I am picking Detroit. They're going to get their first win. I feel bad for the Vikings, but I don't even care anymore. They are their own worst enemy somehow.
So it's really the story of this game comes down to backup running backs, right? Alexander Madison for Minnesota and Jamal Williams for Detroit.
I like Jamal Williams and I like Madison both.
Both of these running backs have a good track record against this opponent. I think Jared gets his head out of his butt. I think TJ Hawkinson's a stud. I feel like, playing them close on the road, it took a 54-yard field goal, whatever it was at the wire to lose that game. I feel like that gave them the incentive and momentum they need to get their first W. And I think this is the week they're going to do it. And I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to get after Cousins or get some interceptions or so they're going to get some luck. It needs to go their way.
We can't disregard that Kirk Cousins TD INT ratio is like 22-3.
Yeah,
I'm saying realistically, this is exactly how I feel about the Bucs game. Like I feel the exact same way about both of these games. They're the same game to me.
I really wish DeAndre Swift was in the game, but he's not. But Jamal Williams is more than capable.
Jamal Williams is an actual stud. He just plays for the Lions, so no one sees that.
This is one of those games that when I looked at it, I said, I got to pick Detroit. So I'm picking Detroit today.
I'm going to put a 2-leg parlay. Look, I told myself I wasn't going to play any money on Detroit, but just Detroit and Atlanta. Just for the heck of it. I'm sick of getting burnt and losing money over Detroit, but I'm gonna do it because I have to.
They got something there that's gonna be good in the future, and that's a good coach.
All right. I agree 100%. As long as they don't run him out of town, I think he's got a lot of heart and soul that he can bring to this team and hopefully turn them around. But this is another game that I feel like could be the exact same way, but this is the one I'm picking the favored team. This is the game that gets them for real on track in the game that gets them out of the doghouse, because they're still in the doghouse for me because I'm still mad about last week. Indianapolis goes to Houston. I hate this, and this was not what I was referring to at the beginning of the stream. They are a 10-point favorite. The over-under is 44.5, but I'm taking Indy by 15. Jonathan Taylor is going to have a day again. Maybe not 5 touchdowns, but I'm saying he's going to account for 200 yards, and they are going to put the smackdown on Houston. Look, I feel bad for Tyrod Taylor, but I don't even care right now. The Colts are getting back on track. They're gonna do what Atlanta and Tampa Bay and Minnesota are supposed to do this week.
Colts have a very good defense that matches up very well against this god-awful offense. For no reason other than that, I leave their offense off the field. I'm taking the Colts defense. So
I want this game for my own sanity about the Colts right now to be like that first meeting between Buffalo and Miami. It was 45-0. That's what I want to happen in this game, just for their mental sake, for my mental sake, to get over last week and to get them out of the doghouse so I'm not mad at them anymore. But I'm taking Indy by 15.
Have at it.
Who you got on this game?
I already said I got the Colts.
Okay. All right, the next one I think is going to be interesting. It's not one I want to watch or really care to watch, but we're going to see a backup QB, and that always, this year is specifically, has made everything interesting. The New York Giants, with their backup QB, whichever guy that it may be, is going to Miami. Miami's a 6-point favorite. I'm taking Miami at home because I don't trust the Giants at all. But I do think that they might cover the spread.
I don't think they're going to cover the spread. No Kadarius Toney, no Sterling Shepard.
They haven't had all those guys all year in a
Mike Glennon's is not really that good of a quarterback. Miami's playing very good football right now. They keep on rolling. They win this game by at least 10.
I want that to happen. That's what I want to happen. Because as I literally wrote Miami off 4 weeks ago. I wrote them off. I was like, they were one of my 4 teams that had no chance to go to the playoffs. They were 2-7.
Yeah, the last 3 weeks, Tua has completed over 80% of his passes. Shoot. I feel like this is a no-brainer.
I'm not riding the Tua train, but he's looking better. I'm riding the Miami train. They're going to take down the Giants, and, we're all going to feel better about this.
One more ugly game to go at 1 o'clock.
This is going to be an interesting game as well, and I feel like anybody who picks the Jets, let me start. Philly is going to New York to play the Jets. The Philly's a 7-point favorite. I think anybody who picks the Jets has fair reason to do so. But I'm going to take Philly. I'm going to take Philly to cover the spread, and I think everyone is going to write Philly off after one bad game last week with Jalen Hurts. I know how the Philly fan base is, for one, and for two, the Jets won last week. So a lot of people, if you want to vote for the Jets this week, I completely get it. I do. But I think Hurts is going to bounce back. Everyone seems to forget after one bad game that he is the leading fantasy point player among all QBs. He's above Tom Brady, who through the first 4 weeks this year, I didn't think anyone was ever going to catch up to. That's a statement by itself. I don't like him, but it's just a fact. And I think Jalen Hurts is going to bounce back. I think they're going to run all over this Jets team.
I'm with you. I'm a big proponent of the run game. I feel like the run game, since it's the best one in football, going into a defense that's 27th against the run, I feel like that's a recipe for a win. Jalen Hurts won't have to throw the ball. He is still questionable. He may not play. I still think they run the ball well, and Zach Wilson still hasn't developed, as a rookie yet.
There's another curveball in that helps my thing to Philly. I'm giving credit to backup quarterbacks. So if someone else comes in there, I'm gonna still feel the same way.
The run scheme that Philadelphia that was that Nick Sirianni, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, that they've got implemented there is actually killing it. They decided, early on that Jalen wasn't going to be a high-end passing quarterback, and they went right back to the run game. And since then, they've been number one in the NFL running, and they're
And
doing
their
what.
defense is great.
And
They're underrated.
their defense is pretty good.
Yeah,
They're only giving up 22 points a game. I like Philadelphia in this one. This is a good betting game too, honestly.
Zach Wilson last week had no touchdowns. He threw a pick or two, had less than like 100 yards, terrible completion percentage, still managed to win. But like all in all, I just feel like it's totally fair to bet on the Jets. Like it's completely fair. But I've got faith in Hurts, and if not Hurts, I got faith in Philly's defense to destroy Zach Wilson.
All right, 4:05 games.
All right, where these games start getting fun for my opinions. And the games I want to watch a little bit more, all except for one. My favorite 4 o'clock game, Washington at Vegas. Vegas is a 1-point favorite. Shoot it.
I'm going to go with the tie.
You can't go with the tie on a coin.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I can't stand this one up. I feel like this is about as even of a football game as you can have right now. Honest to God. I feel like it's as even as it can possibly get. I'm gonna take Vegas at home. I for no reason. I can't decide. I've been thinking about it for 4 days.
I'm glad you're doing that just to split us up a little bit. We were getting too far on the same page. But I'm going to tell you why Washington's going to win now. First of all, look, you can't use the win with Seattle to be like, oh, well, they didn't beat a good team. Okay, that's fine. They should have lost because that onside kick was good. They just lined up one step too far to the right. That guy had no effect into the kick at all. But whatever. They could have easily won. And some other things, Pete Carroll's poor play calling. They could have won that game, despite how bad they've been. But Washington is on a hot streak right now. They beat Tampa Bay, which I think fueled their fire. Their defense went from worst to tremendously better. I don't know where they rank, but tremendously better. They were literally ranked 32nd, right behind Kansas City at 31st. Both of those teams turned their defense around. They're making a playoff run now. They're more than valid to be in that conversation at the moment, with some of these other teams slipping and playing horribly. Taylor Heineke is maturing in front of us the last couple weeks. He's making a lot better decisions. He's looking good. The defense is losing pieces and still getting better. And so I've got a lot of confidence. They've got a lot of momentum going forward. It's going to be a loud, hectic environment. The Raiders fans are loud. It's indoor technically, so it's going to be super loud, super packed. But I'm going to go based on last year. I'm not even going to go based on this year's Raiders. Last year's Raiders, made it to where the only home team to lose in Vegas is the Raiders, I don't think they have a home field advantage in this game. Like you said, this is an evenly matched team. You could literally flip a coin, and I'll vote tie in the poll if I, for whatever reason, get to call this game. Or if you do, whatever, I'll vote the tie because I'm fine with it. It makes the most sense. Like, the best option is a tie when picking. But I must support my boys. They're making a comeback this year, and they're looking better every week they do it. And so Scary Terry's going to have a big game. And another reason I think they're going to win is Vegas still has not found a run game this year, and Antonio Gibson is climbing the ranks as we speak.
Derek Carr, I don't even think the Vegas is going to need to run the ball this game, honestly. But I think it's still going to be a very even game. Washington's 30th in pass defense still, and Derek Carr is going to put up 300 and some yards. I feel it's going to be super close.
Yeah, but see that this is where like it gets interesting. They're bad in pass defense, but they've been excellent in the red zone. They kept Russ out of the red zone most of the game.
Yeah, I like I said, I went through every bit form of analytics on this to try to come up with a really good answer for it, and I don't have one. So I'm just going to take the Raiders -1 at home, and hopefully the home field advantage of 3.5 points in the NFL kicks into gear for them this weekend. But
I
I'm indifferent.
refuse to root for the Raiders. I already had to do that against the Cowboys, so I don't have to do
Yeah,
that for them anymore. So even if I didn't like Washington, I'm taking Washington on this game.
the other part of that gives Washington a little bit of an edge in my mind as well is Josh Jacobs is questionable and Darren Waller is doubtful. So
Darren Waller's been ruled out, and because my fantasy teams told me.
yeah, I was just looking at the
They've got Hunter Renfrow and Deshaun Jackson. That's their playmakers in this game. And Derek Carr needs to learn how to, get mobile and use his legs. And I think maybe that being able to extend plays and not make turnovers is the only way that they're going to win this game, in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to discredit the Raiders' defense, not at all, because they've been playing fairly well. But I'm pretty confident in this one. You're right. It's a coin flip, and that's the best way to describe this game. But I think that the Washington football team can edge out a win
I'm
and
sure they
keep their
can.
momentum.
This is where we're this week's really going to shed some light on some of these playoff races. I really feel.
I think so too. Especially if my first pick of the day goes correctly, it's really going to shake things up.
Absolutely. Keep on going.
Okay, this is like I don't even know what to say about this game, but Jacksonville is going to the Rams, and the Rams are a 13-point favorite, which is my first red flag. That's where they should win by more than that, realistically. But I don't even know. I'm gonna side with Wyatt on this after watching his video. He picked the final score to be 10-9. The Rams win, and I kind of like that. Look what Jacksonville did to Buffalo when Buffalo was hot. I don't
So
know that I can, in my heart, pick Jacksonville, but if Jacksonville wins this game, I'm writing the Rams off.
okay, you do sound like Wyatt. I watched that video as well.
Yeah, but I sided with him. I felt everything he said, and I told myself before watching Wyatt's video that I was writing the Rams off with this if they lose this game either way.
Well, I if they lose this game, I'm gonna go with you and say that they're gonna fall from grace and go to complete garbage. What they've done is, and they traded Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford because they thought Matthew Stafford gave them the best option to win in the passing game. Uh, so now they don't have to run this play action RPO type offense that they had to run to get Goff open looks for passing game. Well, that did not work for them. And Sean McVay is smart enough to see this weekend that they have to run the ball because right now Matthew Stafford is not playing up to his capabilities. There's some tension in the locker room, and I think Sean McVay mixes it up this weekend. And I think Darrell Henderson comes back this weekend, and I think he's going to have to. I think he's going to have a good game. But I think Matt gets back on track here, and they propel themselves up a little closer to the Cardinals.
My interesting take right now is I've been calling the Jets home wreckers, and then they beat Houston, and that like invalidated my statement. But Jacksonville has been home wreckers, and if this win would be a true home. If they win this game, I'm gonna buy a Jags jersey for the pure humor fact that they have been truly home wreckers. They
Okay.
set Buffalo behind New England, single-handedly got inside their head. I think Tennessee did it first, but to beat the Rams. Look, I'm gonna take the Rams on this game because it feels right. But I'm not counting out Jacksonville because no one's talking about them right now, and so they're doing better.
I got you. I just really feel like Sean McVay's not going to let this go any further out of hand.
We can't count out the fact that Matt Stafford's thrown a pick six in like 4 games straight too. And I don't know, man. Like that Josh Allen kid for the Jags has been playing tremendously well against quarterbacks who throw like that.
I'm looking right now. I got something I want to find here. And for the record, which one do I want? If Jacksonville wins this game, I am going to go ahead and buy me a Travis Etienne jersey. I'm gonna call it right now. I'm gonna buy us both one.
Why? He's not even gonna be he's not even a part of the homewrecker squad.
You know, I'm because I think he was probably one of the better draft picks that they had, and not so much Mr. Trevor Lawrence.
Nah, I'll buy a James Robinson jersey just because I like him.
He'll be traded.
I mean, he's Leonard Fournette, dude. He's literally Leonard Fournette. He went undrafted. He had a 1,000-yard game season last year as a rookie, undrafted rookie. Now, next thing you know, Tom Brady's going to kick Lenny out the door and bring in James Robinson. It's a story wrote in the stars.
I take that back. I thought Travis Etienne. I think I'm going to if they win this game, I'll get a Laviska Shenault jersey.
I rock with Shenault. He's a stud.
I was looking for somebody that I actually liked on the team other than James Robinson, but yeah,
maybe Josh Allen, dude. I might just go with Josh Allen.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think we both agree that this could be uncomfortably close.
This is I don't even think it's gonna be like a think. I feel like it's gonna be uncomfortably close, but the Rams have to win this game, not even for the playoffs, but for their dignity, for the rest of their season. But I'm not counting Jacksonville out. This is a coin toss for me.
You got to go on to the next one because this is the one that I'm anxious to hear what you really feel about it.
Baltimore heads to Schittsburg and they are a 4.5-point favorite. Look, both of these teams are complete dumpster fires, dude. Like, I don't care what you say. I know the Ravens are good, but they are dumpster fires. Look, they struggled against Cleveland. Lamar threw 4 picks, and he only won because Cleveland had no offense. If Cleveland had 1% of offense, they would have won that game. Baltimore is not that good. They are a good football team, but they are good when all healthy. I am not afraid of them in any matter. I would love one of my teams to match up against them in the playoffs because I know any team I like would beat them because they will choke because they are not ready. They're not a playoff team this year. They're unhealthy. They need to get through this season, get healthy, and next year is going to be a different story. I'm going to take Pittsburgh as an upset. They are just as a dumpster fire as all 3 of those teams, which is why Cincinnati is the best team in that division because they're all dumpster fires right now. None of them know what's going on. Baltimore is just finding ways to win. And, Mike Tomlin is that Baltimore Ravens team. He finds ways to win. He doesn't let this team fall below 500. He finished the last 9 years in a row with a winning season, and half of those seasons he had nothing. And so I am going to take Pittsburgh as much as I hate it and as much as it's what I want because I want Baltimore to get a reality check. But I think that's what this game is going to be, a reality check for Baltimore.
I think Pittsburgh's embarrassed.
I think Pittsburgh's embarrassed, but I think Lamar Jackson's embarrassed too.
I think Pittsburgh's embarrassed. I think everybody thinks that they're going to win this game because that's the arrogance of both of these teams. I think, honestly, I think the difference in this game is going to be a rookie. Pittsburgh's running back is going to take care of this game.
I think so too.
I can't get his name off my tongue right now because Najee Harris. Couldn't get it off my tongue.
He's been consistent for that team. I think 2 guys are going to win this game for him, and it's Najee Harris and Pat Freiermuth. Their rookies are going to carry them in this offensively on this game.
Honestly, I think it's going to look a lot like the Cleveland game, the Baltimore or the Pittsburgh Cleveland game. I think it's going to look like that.
I
I
think
think
so
it.
too, and I think Lamar
I think
might
it's
throw
going to.
4 picks again.
I
Like,
think it's going to be
honestly.
low scoring, and whether T.J. Watt playing means a lot if he plays or if he doesn't play. But we've learned this year, and I learned from watching Cincinnati play Baltimore. It's how you pass rush Lamar. You don't run past
You
him.
contain him.
You keep him in containment, and he doesn't like tight spaces. I really feel like Pittsburgh's got what it takes, even though they've been embarrassed a couple times here recently. They've given up a bunch of points. I can't see Mike Tomlin losing another game like that. Baltimore's gotten lucky way too many times this year. I'm going to go ahead and take Pittsburgh with you.
Yeah, I absolutely hate it. If I had to choose a team to root for the rest of my life and I was down to those two, I would take Baltimore all day, every day. So I hate it, but I need a Baltimore loss for Cincinnati's benefit. And I need people to understand that Baltimore has been fortunate this year. For as much as they've lost, they've been very fortunate. And they could have a losing record right now and it would make just as much sense as it does what they have now.
I'm ready. Let's go to the next one.
All right, this is the doozy 4 o'clock game in my opinion, but this is basically Russell Wilson, his last chance. Not Russell Wilson's last chance. This is Seattle's last chance to keep Russell Wilson. And so I think I think that this should be a bulldozer game for San Francisco, but they will not have Deebo Samuel. So I feel like that shakes everything up. This is a divisional game in Seattle. Seattle is a 3.5-point underdog at home, which is incredible. That's how bad they are. They're favored to lose at home. It's hard to play there. I think San Francisco should win this game. I think it's going to be a tight one. I'm not going to take either team to cover that spread. I feel like it really will be a 3-point game. 3.5 is like too much for me. The lack of run game that Seattle has is probably why they'll lose. But Russell Wilson needs to learn how to throw to DK Metcalf for one. He's there. Don't forget, because I watched that last game they played. He didn't even get targeted once until the third quarter, and he only had 1 catch in that game. Look, that's a big dude. San Francisco's defense is fairly elite, in my opinion. It's the same defense that took them to the Super Bowl. Jimmy G doesn't have to do that much. I think Elijah Mitchell will have a big game because Seattle's defense is not great. But I think Russ will fight to make this game close, but I'm going to stick with San Francisco, but not to cover.
Gotcha.
Also,
And
what's up, Mary Beth and Steve? Also, Puppet Master, welcome back.
hey, I hear what you're saying, and I technically agree with you, but I'm going to go back to something you said this year, and I'm going to stick to your guns. And
Actually, you know what? I have to take Seattle.
Just to call you out, I'm taking Seattle at home because it's NFC West.
You're right. I have to take Seattle. That's the rules.
That's the rules. We clarified that already. You have to take the home team in the NFC West.
NFC West divisional games, you have to take the home team.
You know what?
But either way, nobody's covering that 3.5. They'll hit 3, but not 3.5.
I'm good, and the reason why I am picking Seattle this week is every reason that their offensive coordinator's on the hot seat right now, because right now he's on the verge of being fired. DK Metcalf will get the ball.
Russell Wilson or he'll blow up the stadium, one or the other.
Russell Wilson's going to play a good game. He's going to have a game here. This may be a short-lived spurt, but it's going to be a spurt. Seattle wins this game at home.
So Seattle's going to be the home record that cools off the San Francisco 49ers.
For Cincinnati's sake, I was kind of hoping San Francisco just rolled them, honestly, so that they'd go home all cocky, getting ready to play Cincinnati next week.
That's fair. I mean, I'm fine with either team who wins this game. I feel bad for Russell Wilson, so I would rather Seattle win, but I'm right there with you.
All right, this is the one that I'm ready for. I want to hear.
This is the scariest game of the week, but I'm so excited. My boys are back on prime time. They got flexed. They could have flexed the Cincinnati game. I don't know why they didn't flex that one instead. But my boys are back in the prime time. The Kansas City Chiefs are hosting the division rival, the Denver Broncos. The Chiefs, this is what I wanted to come back to when I said at the beginning of the stream, the 10-point spread. They listed them as a 9.5-point spread. If they would have listed them as 10, I would not have felt confident, but it's a 9.5. So I'm going to take my boys. I don't think they'll cover. I think Chiefs by 30. I want that energy all weekend. Chiefs by 30. I'm going to take the Chiefs by 8 because that's where I feel confident. I think it's going to be like a 32 to like 23 or like 28 to 20 kind of area game. The Chiefs defense is a lot better, so I don't even think Denver might put up 20 points, but I did see what they did to the Chargers. So I got to give them – I'm giving them 20 based on what they did to Los Angeles. But I'm taking the Chiefs at the 38 or 32, 28 to 34-ish range in points. My boys are getting healthy. They're getting better. Clyde is listed as questionable, but I think he'll be all right. And even though I got faith in Darrell Williams, I'm taking the Chiefs for the pure fact, outside of the fact that I'm a fan, that the Chiefs have been able to score more points this season than Denver has as a whole.
Yeah, those are all good points. I'm going to make some other points and then let you know where I feel. Denver's got the third ranked scoring defense in the NFL. They play fairly well on the road. They decent at getting to the quarterback. They're decent in the secondary. Surtain makes them legit. He's going to be a legit star in the next couple of years. There's a lot of things about Denver that I really think is going to help them in this game. Melvin Gordon is adequate.
He's not going to play, I don't think.
Well, then it doesn't change my tone much. Where the difference in this game really comes down to is quarterback and weapons. Even though Cortland Sutton is a stud, I just don't think Teddy Bridgewater is going to be able to put out the same output that Mahomes does this game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I'm going to take this one 34 to 24. I think Chiefs win it by 10.
I've got a couple more points to add in the Chiefs' favor. First of all, go KU. Reed is like almost undefeated after a bye.
Yeah,
that's a fact. But outside of that, they're playing in Arrowhead on the prime time. Who's got more experience in prime time, Teddy Bridgewater or Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes all day, every day. They got embarrassed by the Buffalo Bills at home on prime time. This is their revenge to that game. They're not going to let that happen again. That loud crowd noise, that automatically, like, most home field advantages gives them 3 points. That gives them 6 in my opinion. So they get 6 points just for their crowd, the 12th man stepping up. And Patrick Mahomes is, Teddy Bridgewater is still in a new system. He's still learning Denver. He's been thrown around a lot. Patrick Mahomes has been there, and he has been there for a couple years now, and he's growing with this team. He's been going through growing pains, but I don't think he's going to let this one happen. I also don't think he's ever lost to Denver.
I don't know. I see a lot of good qualities in Andy Reid. That stat, I heard that one earlier today. It's like something like 24-1 coming out of a bye week or something stupid, crazy like that. He's a preparation coach. They've had their snag. They have made their adjustment. They took their stubbornness out of their offense. They made the adjustments that they needed to get it back on track. And I think it's just an uphill climb for the rest of the season right now. But Denver looks like – I'm going to tell you that Denver does look like a wild card. They look like a wild card team, and they may still get there.
I think it's going to come down to the Chargers and the Broncos who gets that last wild card spot. Like I believe that they will fight over one spot. I don't think they'll both make it because they've been playing about as consistent as each other. And so I think it'll definitely if Denver beats the Chargers the second time, it'll be Denver. But if the Chargers win the second matchup, it'll just be whoever has one more win. Like it's going to be that close in my opinion.
So do we have to do Monday night?
Yeah, we have to do Monday night. I got it right here.
Well,
This is the best game of the week.
Let's hit it.
All right. The New England Patriots and Bill Belichick with rookie quarterback Mac Jones flies to Buffalo, short trip, and takes on Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, another team with so many question marks and lack of Tre'Davious White in the prime time on Monday Night Football. And go.
This one's easy.
I already know where I'm going with this, and I don't even have that much to back it up, so that's why I'm letting you roll.
I think both teams are fairly equal in talent. I think they're both scary awesome on defense. New England is 5-0 on the road this year, and they're going to go win in Buffalo.
Oh, I forgot to mention, they didn't even give Buffalo 3 points on the spread. They gave them 2.5 at home.
Yeah, I'm done.
Which is more of a reason why I'm going to take New England. Like your road stat was one of the directions I was going with that. And the Patriots have been playing a much more aggressive, consistent ball on the road, which is insane because that's like the first time in Bill Belichick's New England Patriots career that he's played better on the road than at home. But Patriots winning, Bill's been choking. That was where I was getting at. I think the difference in these defenses right now is Tre'Davious White. They're missing a big piece that the Patriots have all the pieces they need. So, and they've just gotten better and scarier every week. Mac Jones is maturing faster than any quarterback I've ever seen, and I'm not saying he won't slump next year or if they make it to the playoffs and, slump then. Like, I won't be surprised. But in this regular season, he has gotten 1,000 times better every single time he stepped on the field, and it's scary. And he's honestly looking like he's going to take Jamar Chase's Rookie of the Year award right out of his mouth. Let's be honest here. There's not much argument. I feel like, Buffalo's lost at home this year, and to Pittsburgh. Look at Pittsburgh. They've lost at home to that. I feel like this is supposed to be a crazy game. I think it might be a really low-scoring game but I also think it could be one-sided. Look, Mac Jones is more mature than Josh Allen some days, and he makes better decisions with the football under pressure than Josh Allen has this season. I feel like there's going to be a lot of turnovers on Buffalo's end, and a lot of Buffalo Bills fans are going to be mad.
Yeah, I looked at it and I don't see anything special to rank Buffalo above New England right now. Everything that New England has done has been earned. It's not been fluky. They've dominated in their wins. They're playing the best football. They're peaking right now. They may peak a little early, but they're peaking right now. And there's no chance I'm picking against them.
I hate even thinking that way because of what Buffalo has been able to do when playing well. At one point they were the number one offense and number one defense at the same time. They were shutting teams out. Now, we could be completely wrong and, Mac Jones folds in this game completely. But I feel like this is the only one and only time I think I'm going to use this statement that him playing for a team like Alabama is going to help him win this game. And I said it a little bit yesterday or whenever we talked about it, but he is used to 100, 1,000 people screaming at him. He loves it. He's thrived in it. He's won a national championship in it. I can't pick against him in this scenario. Now, when Buffalo comes to New England, I might take Buffalo, but like right now, I am 100%. I'll probably wear a Bills jersey just for the pure fact I picked New England on that game, but like I have no reason to pick against him. Like, there's nothing in my gut that says Buffalo is going to win that game unless Mac Jones, like I said, just blows everybody's mind and folds.
Yeah, as of right now, there's no reason to pick against New England. And I'm sitting here looking at Buffalo's losses. Their losses are at Jacksonville, which who knows what went on there. The loss at Tennessee by 3. We know why that one occurred.
Yeah, that one's what broke them.
The loss at Pittsburgh, or versus
No, that was in
Pittsburgh.
Buffalo. Yeah.
But the one that I keep reflecting towards is the game against Indianapolis. Indianapolis dominated that game.
No,
Completely.
Jonathan Taylor dominated that game. What do you mean? That was Jonathan Taylor versus the Buffalo Bills.
It made Buffalo look like a wild card team at best. That's where my brain is at right now.
Which defense will be more effective at getting after which QB? I'm still gonna stick with New England. In getting after, I don't even mean sack wise, causing them to make mistakes. Mac Jones makes far less more mistakes than Josh Allen has this year. He started slow. I'm not counting their first 4 or 5 games, whatever, because he's literally a rookie. But compared to Josh Allen, he's blown out bad teams. So that's as impressive as you want it to be. Their defense was more impressive there to prevent them from scoring anything. But I feel like any pressure at all, if I had to say who's going to throw the first pick, it's going to be Josh Allen. Who's going to throw the second pick? Probably Josh Allen if, that many picks are thrown. I think the Patriots defense is just going to be more effective, and I think that the Patriots offense has decent weapons and can run the ball like fairly well. I feel like the lack of Tre'Davious White and the lack of offense I feel like Buffalo is going to produce is going to keep Buffalo's defense on the field so much longer, and they're just going to get worn down.
So, perspective for a second. 3 out of the next 4 games for Buffalo, they're home against New England, which they could lose. I know which way you're gonna pick the next one, but the next weekend they go into Tampa Bay and
I'm
play.
thinking Buffalo, dude.
I mean, no, but just listen. I know what you're doing, but just listen. The next week they go to Tampa Bay the following weekend. They come home against Carolina, who's struggling, and then they go to New England. 3 out of the next 4 games, they could potentially get embarrassed. I mean, I know that
we also don't know what Carolina is going to look like after a bye.
I'm hoping that Cam Newton's shortcomings right now are because of reacclimating himself with the team.
I think so. He did really well his first showing, and then people are getting back up to speed with him, and he's still figuring that offense out some more.
But there's some good, connection points at wide receiver with him, and if he can initiate some run offense, they have the potential to be scary if they can get on the lead. But I'm just looking, and then after that, then they have Atlanta at home, which is a pretty winnable game, and then they go to the Jets, which you do not know. The last game of the season going into New York to play, you don't know what you're going to get, honestly. We don't even know who's going to be quarterback. We don't even know if their coach will still be there at this point because it's New York. But
you never know. You literally don't know with this year it'll be week 18, and you also don't know, there's too many unknowns. I can't bet on the last week of the season.
I'm looking at the best case scenario. The last 6 games, they go 4-2. That's 12-6. No, that can't be right. Last 5 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, there's 6 weeks. Yeah, 4-2. Why do I see the record as 8? Oh, they're 7-4. Okay, so 11-6. That's going to be right around where the wild card games are at for sure. If that's the way they finish, they've just got a few things to figure out.
Get this for a really screwed up. This is a full circle moment if it were to happen, of course. But The Jets are the Bills are fighting for a playoff spot, fighting for a wild card spot. Plays the Jets in week 17 and gets knocked out of the playoffs by my home wreckers. Dude, could you imagine you not getting into the playoffs because of the Jets?
Well, I've already thought about that on Cincinnati's case because of them losing in New York.
I still think Cincinnati's going to get in. I got confidence.
Yeah, I just feel like Miami's coming. Miami's going to make a run at Buffalo right now.
That's what I'm saying. If Miami doesn't lose another game, Buffalo might not get in. Patriots might still take the division, and Miami knocking Buffalo out.
Yeah, the only thing that Buffalo has in the favor on that is that they've won both meetings against Miami if they tie.
Yeah, but all they need is one more win. And that's just so insane to me to think of that as a possibility because I wrote them off completely. I scratched their name off. I said they're done for the year. Tua's gone and they're done for the year. That's two things that aren't true anymore. This year has been insane, and I love every single second of it. Seriously.
Well, we've said it, and it just keeps being made more true every week that the parity, the gap is closing in the talent levels on all these teams. There's 12 teams right now that have what I would consider elite style quarterbacks, whether they be young or veterans or whatnot. There's 12 elite quarterbacks in the league now, whereas before it used to be 2 or 3. I mean,
there was also one thing I did want to touch on, and first I have to start with a joke, but the biggest winner of week 13, I'm calling it now, is the Cleveland Browns because they don't have to play, so they can't lose. But that's what I wanted to get at is we've got 4 teams on a bye this week. Cleveland, the Packers, the Panthers, and the Titans. All other than Green Bay, probably 3 of which teams that I don't think their bye week could have fell at a better time.
Oh, for sure.
Cleveland, the Panthers, and the Titans have all been on a losing skid.
Yeah, Cleveland's really interesting because I don't know what Stefanski's gonna do up there to kind of.
I trust Stefanski. I don't trust Baker Mayfield. That's the problem. Put Case Keenum in, and he'll spread that ball around to all those receivers. He doesn't care who's on the field.
Why does Cleveland's good games just have to come against Cincinnati?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's the best game they played this year was against Cincinnati.
That's why I say Baker's just a head case. It's something to do with how sporadic his personality is. I don't know what it is because when he goes into Cincinnati, he has that feeling that he can win, and he's not going to be stopped. He looks like an elite quarterback when they play the Bengals.
That's the only time. Even last year, that's the way I felt.
I
don't. The Packers, that's probably good for them to go on a bye. They do have some key pieces banged up, but they're playing such good football that I think they're going to be fine either way. At this rate, the Packers are going to end up with the number 1 seed. At this rate, I'm not counting Arizona out, but the Panthers, on a losing streak, but still in contention. This bye week, they could spend some more time with Cam and, rest a little bit, get healthy, get more acclimated with the offense. Cam Newton, that is. They said that Cam's been putting in extra days, extra hours into running this offense to get better. So this bye could turn their season around. And then the Titans, who went from top dogs to Baltimore's IR status, and now losing games finally, and which is why this Indy win is so important while Tennessee's on a bye, because they need to get ahead of Tennessee to take that division because, Tennessee swept them. There's so many interesting things about just the bye teams alone, let alone everyone that is playing. I'm not stressed. I'm not worried about Cleveland. I could see them missing the playoffs at this rate. I am going to be cheering hard for them against Baltimore, but that'll probably be the last time I do this season. But yeah, this Giants could play spoiler to Miami. Yeah, I said that with a backup quarterback, anything can happen. I don't really like Mike Glennon if that's who is going to be their guy, but I saw what Mike White did. Like, I don't know. So anything can happen. Which it'll be good for Buffalo if Miami does lose, but that's probably about the only good out of that for anybody. This game, it doesn't really matter to me, but I think it does make things interesting with Miami just on such an uptick at the moment. I don't know. I'm really excited for this week of football because every single week the playoff week race looks different. And Cincinnati fell to like number 10 and now they're at number 5. And they're gonna play a winnable game this weekend, and Baltimore's playing a losable game every week, and so we're just waiting for that loss to finally come. I think it could come this week, and the roles are going to be reversed again. Cincinnati's going to have the crown on for a little bit longer.
Yeah, the interesting part about the Cincinnati Baltimore thing is that Baltimore's 5-1 at home this year, and Cincinnati thumped them in Baltimore, just like they thumped Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, and then they thumped Pittsburgh at home. I can't think that there's anything else that's going to happen other than they're going to be motivated when Baltimore comes back to town. They're going to win that division.
Yeah. If they could beat Cleveland just once, that's all I said I wanted this year. Look, I had less high hopes. I thought most of their losses this season were going to come within the division, honestly. And so I still had them winning like 9 games this year, but I thought most of their losses were within the division. And I had them winning against Cleveland one time. And I think that might have Pittsburgh once and Cleveland once. And the fact they thumped Baltimore made that not even matter to me. But all I want for the rest of the season for Cincinnati is them to beat Cleveland in week 17. That could be the game that knocks Cleveland out of the playoff race. I need them to beat Cleveland just once this year for my sanity because those 2 games last year were incredible. They were great football games. Joe Burrow had the lack of experience, which is why he couldn't close them out. But he's gaining that experience and he's gaining that momentum. Like, I feel like he can do it.
Well, I know you got to work in the morning. Are you ready to close this thing out for the day, or what do you want to do?
Absolutely. If there is anybody in the chat that has any last thoughts before we close this down, now is your time because we won't be on here talking football until Sunday. And are you going to play-by-play the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game?
If I have time Sunday and that game is on my TV, then yes. But
Cincinnati plays early, so you should get Baltimore and Pittsburgh as your second game.
Well, I always get Indianapolis over Cincinnati on the early game anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You should get Baltimore. I don't see why you would get Philly or the Jets. Oh, wait, they don't play at 1. I don't see why you'd get Washington or Vegas, Jacksonville, Rams.
When I get home on Sunday, I'm gonna be home a little bit early. I should make it early, and whatever I have, if there's 2 games on 4:00 that I have to choose from, I'm gonna pick the one that I like the most, which will probably be the AFC North if I have it, and I will go with that.
Yeah, because that'll be a fun game to call. Look.
Because I get the dog out.
North game that was on primetime was one of the worst football games ever played, but it was so much fun to call to sit back and laugh at them. So you will love it being in that seat.
So just so you know, if Jacksonville wins, you get a Chenault jersey.
If Jacksonville wins, I'll buy a freaking Tim Tebow jersey. I'll waste my money. Straight up. like I'll buy every member on that team's jersey because that's just ridiculous.
But I really do look for the Rams to recover Sunday.
Also, not only he might be doing a 4:00 game, but don't you worry, go KU. I'll be in this seat ready to go, decked out in all my Chiefs gear for Sunday night. And I hope you make it, man, because me and you, we're going to have a lot of fun. I've only met like one other Chiefs fan on YouTube. And so you're my ride or die in this situation. And I need a hype man, and you're gonna be you are my Chiefs hype man. You said Chiefs by 30, and nothing's made me happier all week. So I'm real excited. I'm real fired up. If anybody likes college basketball, tomorrow at noon, Dad will be on here broadcasting in Indiana University playing Nebraska. It's the first conference game they have. So
Yep.
if you like college basketball, then you understand the importance of conference games. And, if you just want to hang out or if you just want to stop by and say hey to him, he'll appreciate that either way. I know noon is early. I don't know what your guys' schedule looks like. It's early for me too, but I'll unfortunately be at work either
We've
way.
never done anything that early, so it ought to be I'm wondering if I'm going to pick up the older crowd that watches a lot of the repeats of all this stuff. That's what I was curious about.
Chiefs beating down the Donkeys. All right, comment of the night goes to that. I've never heard someone call the Broncos the Donkeys, so
dude, that's funny. I would love to see a jersey or a logo.
We'll make a
Wait
t-shirt.
A minute. Oh, hold on a second. Now you got me thinking. Wait 1 minute. Oh, it's over here.
Also, Puppet Master's last thoughts. Last thoughts. I appreciate that. That's the second best comment.
I'm ready to bury a team this year.
You ready?
I'm ready just to say some teams are completely done. Are you ready?
Nope. Jacksonville. Is that a sticker mule? Sticker?
Yeah. It's for the donkeys.
It's for the donkeys. I'll light it on fire in a short version or in a shorts video if the Chiefs win.
I'll get a little Denver D and put him in a t-shirt.
Here's KC. Here in KC, we call them the donkeys. Man, I wish I lived in KC because then I'll be saying that my whole life. That's so funny. Even if I liked Denver, I think I'd still call them the donkeys. That's awesome. Right. I'll make sure to put that in the description just for you. But I am ready to wrap this up. Thank you, Crafty Southpaw, Puppet Master, Go KU, Shelby, Tim, Amethyst. I'm trying to think of everyone who's here. I know we didn't have a whole lot of chat today, but we just kind of talked. Jeff, Eddie, if you're still in here, Pookie, Geezer. I think that's
everyone. Really fast. Oh, before you close it, dang it. Right there. Why did Brian Kelly leave Notre Dame for LSU? Notre Dame's a good program. It's got to do with one thing, and it's called the color green because the pay is almost double.
I figured, honestly. But thanks so much. Go KU. I can't wait to see you Sunday. Don't worry, I'll be getting fired up all weekend. I have to work every day, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to take some pregame ritual for 2 days straight and get prepared. This is a huge game for the Chiefs because both the Chargers and the the Donkeys are on their tail. And this is a key game, honestly. The Chiefs lose this, and it shakes everything up because the weird thing about the AFC West is they're all right on top of each other.
They're all within a half game.
Yeah, exactly. So they need to create some separation. So I'm going to be fired up. I might yell on this stream a lot on Sunday just out of either excitement, disappointment, or anxiety. I don't know, whichever comes first. And but with that being said, I need to eat some food and take a nap or some sleep or something. I don't know, but I'll see you all. I'll see a lot of you guys at noon tomorrow as much as I can. He will see you at noon for sure. Have a great night. Video being uploaded. Everyone be sure to check out Tim's video. I don't know what to expect from him. It could be metal detecting and it could be his cat. I'm not sure. But I'll be over there to check you out. I'll see you all for sure on Sunday. Have a nice night, and we are out of here.